Hi everybody, this is Dino from Prehistoric Facts. Sorry it took this long to actually get this answering questions episode done, considering that I actually had a trip to Minnesota for a weekend, and also I just had a little bit of a lot of things on my mind, and so I needed a little bit of a break from the show for a little bit. But even though, sorry I didn't get to tell you that, but anyway, I'm actually going to get the show back on the road here, so we'll actually get started with this answering questions episode right now. Brendan from Morris, New York. Did Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, Mapusaurus, Tarbosaurus, Daspletosaurus, Albertosaurus, Allosaurus, and other predatory dinosaurs have venomous bite, like monitor lizards? Well, when we actually look at the large theropod dinosaurs, like the ones you were talking about, they probably had something called, like, say, a septic bite. Maybe they did actually have like rotting meat in their teeth. And so some of that rotting flesh probably got stuck in between the serrations of the teeth and actually kind of got infested with bacteria. Now, this wouldn't actually have killed the dinosaur outright, but it would actually have made an advantage for that dinosaur to actually give its prey a very nasty infection. But even though that's still theoretical, it's still unknown about that. And so would those types of dinosaurs have venomous bites like monitor lizards? Well, keep in mind, the dinosaurs are not monitor lizards. Their monitor lizards are not related to dinosaurs whatsoever. They kind of look like dinosaurs in a way, but actually they don't actually have the same features as dinosaurs. They may have almost have the same exact teeth, but monitor lizards actually come from a different group of reptiles. They're part of the lizard family, and they're predatory lizards, and so that actually will contradict a lot of things in between how they're related to dinosaurs. But you see, mosasaurs are actually related to monitor lizards, so that would actually be something to look at. But even though I don't think mosasaurs would have a venomous bite, considering that they live in the ocean, and it's hard to actually have a venomous bite if you're in the ocean. And also, when you actually look at the large predatory dinosaurs, they probably didn't need venom. They probably didn't need venom whatsoever. They probably just needed their teeth and their claws to actually try to actually take down their prey, but mainly use their teeth, especially the large theropod dinosaurs. Large theropod dinosaurs would kill using their mouth. They would not use their hand claws. They're not like dromaeosaurs. Dromaeosaurs would actually use their claws to kill their prey, not the large theropod dinosaurs. The large theropod dinosaurs would probably just use their claws for grabbing, not necessarily for trying to actually kill their prey. And so that would actually be the case. And also, in the bone, we would not find where the venomous bite would have been on the large theropod dinosaurs. We would actually find maybe like an attachment point of where the venom gland might have been in the upper and lower jaws. But we don't find that. We don't find that in large theropod dinosaurs because they probably did not have a venom gland, and venom glands like monitor lizards do on their bottom jaws, because that's where you find it in the Gila monster. That's where you might find it in the Komodo dragon and also other monitor lizards. And so you kind of get the point there. And so I do not believe the large theropod dinosaurs had venom, and I don't think they had a venomous bite. I think they might have had a very bacteria-infested bite, but it might not have killed their prey totally quite quickly, but it may actually have slowed their prey down for a little bit to actually give them a little bit more of an advantage to actually kill their prey later on. And of course, this next question. Patrick from Ohio. Which dinosaur species has the best sense of hearing? Well, it's hard to determine which one actually has the best hearing, but it's probably herbivores. Herbivores would actually have the best hearing, because you see, if you're herbivore, you need to have the best sense of hearing that you need to have in order to actually hear predators coming. And also, you need to know that, like, if you're living in a herd and there's somebody spotting a predator, then they would actually need that sense of hearing if that member of the herd actually starts calling starts giving alarm sounds, like hadrosaurs. Hadrosaurs would actually have very good sense of hearing. I would actually say that their sense of hearing is very good enough that they can actually hear other members of their species to actually hear the alarm calls of their herd mates. And that will be the same thing with ankylosaurs, but they didn't live in herds that much. Some of the smaller ones might have lived in smaller groups, but I think the larger ones probably did not actually live in groups that much, just because I think they were a little bit more solitary than anything else. I probably think they relied more on their environment around them. Like if they hear birds or pterosaurs chirping around to alert danger, that sort of stuff. And so that would be the case of which types of dinosaurs probably have the best sense of hearing. Sauropods probably didn't have the sense of hearing like hadrosaurs, iguanodontids, and ankylosaurs, and maybe stegosaurs actually had, considering that they're very large and they probably didn't even need to hear the warning sounds and the warning calls of herd mates that much, because I think because with their size, that's a big weapon. Size is a big weapon for them, and that's kind of what I would think about sauropods in that way. So hadrosaurs and ankylosaurs, stegosaurs, and iguanodontids were probably having the best sense of hearing. All right, now I actually want to talk about a little bit about the recent papers about Tyrannosaurus Rex speed. Now, there are two papers that actually came out. One was from University of Bristol, which is actually in England, and then you actually have a study that was actually done in Australia about Tyrannosaurus Rex speed. But it actually falls on, but one was mostly about Tyrannosaurus Rex speed, but then the other one was actually based on large theropod dinosaurs in terms of how their gaits might have been. And you see the first paper actually the England paper actually talks about the biomechanic version of how Tyrannosaurus Rex might have ran. Now, it says that Tyrannosaurus Rex might not have ran at all. It might have had a very speedy walk. So it would be like a jog in terms of its standards, in terms of its size, because it's actually saying that the leg bones of Tyrannosaurus Rex were not actually built for a lot of stress on the bone when it comes to in terms of running. Now, what do I think about this is that I think this is actually more towards of Jack Horner's theory of how Tyrannosaurus Rex might have been more of a scavenger than anything else. Now, I would actually say that I think this study needs a little more depth. But you see, we won't even know how fast certain dinosaurs would have been, because we just have their bones. We don't have their musculature. We don't actually have a live dinosaur, and what we think of dinosaurs, to actually give like a speed test, because you see, there's no animals alive today that actually would actually be that large and actually have that bipedal stance like large theropod dinosaurs would have had. Now, the second one is actually more towards on the gait and stride of large theropod dinosaurs. And it's saying that based on footprints of some of the smaller dinosaurs, that some large theropod dinosaurs might have been faster than what we actually thought. Now, I do believe in that part. You see, I do believe dinosaurs are a little bit faster than what we give them credit for. Now, I think the study in the England part is not giving them that much credit in terms of running ability, because you see, I would say that it's more about the stride length than anything else. It does not matter if you're actually that large and you can't run. And also in that study in England, they use mammals. They use mammals to actually be a comparison to dinosaurs, and that is not a good comparison. You need to look at the living relatives of dinosaurs that are birds. Birds actually have the two-legged bipedal stance. They're actually dinosaurs in real life. They're actually that types of animals that you need to be studying. You do not need to look at mammals. That's the problem of paleontology today, is that they look at mammals to compare to dinosaurs. And you see, mammals are different from dinosaurs. Mammals are actually the animals that actually have a much higher, would actually have the higher rate of metabolism, but even though dinosaurs would actually have that same would actually have a much higher powered metabolism than mammals might have had, and also mammals are a little bit more warm-blooded. There are some dinosaurs that are warm-blooded, but there are some that are actually in between warm and cold blood, and so that would actually be the case with that too. But you see, mammals are just not a good comparison to actually look at dinosaurs, because you see, if you're using T-Rex's speed, and you actually trying to like use an elephant to actually compare it to T-Rex, well, T-Rex would actually be nearly the same size, would actually be the same size or larger than an African elephant. But you see, it's just that an elephant is a four-legged animal. T-Rex is a two-legged animal. And to me, size sometimes can play a factor, but you see, sometimes size does not become a factor when you're talking about speed. And when that gait in that stride length theory, I think that one has a little bit more validity, but even though the biomechanical study actually does have some validity into it, but I would say that maybe the scientists that were actually cooperating with this study in the England paper were missing some parts of the muscles. And you see, birds are actually a very good comparison. And I would actually say that, like, I would still say, don't look at these as facts, look at these as hypotheses. These are just hypotheses. We don't know what the speed of extinct animals might have been. That is the problem. It's just because we don't have the musculature to actually know if these animals actually had like higher rates of speed or slower rates of speed than what we actually know. And so I would actually say just keep the facts that you actually have. Just keep the information that you have about Tyrannosaurus Rex and other large theropod dinosaurs in terms of the speed. I would actually say that some of the speed estimates are actually a little bit more correct, but we don't know for certain about the speed. And you can actually ask any paleontologist today to actually ask them, do these hypotheses have some validity to them, or do they have some faults, and do they have some errors that they do need to correct? And so that would actually be the case there. It's just ask the paleontologists and if they have read these papers, and also actually make sure that if they actually do believe in or do not believe in these theories. And so just keep in mind about that. Anyway, now I'm actually going to do these. I'm actually going to do episodes, uploading them probably on Sundays, Mondays, or Tuesdays, because those are the days where I actually have a little bit more time to actually do these videos and also actually upload them. Considering that I'm actually volunteering for the museum, and it's actually kind of a little bit of a hard time for me to actually get the videos done as quickly as possible, and so I would actually just do it. I would actually just upload the videos on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, and so I will let you know when the next episode would actually be uploaded. It would actually be either on those 3 days, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, and so the next episode would actually be an extra episode. So let me know what kind of let me know what kind of dinosaur movie, TV show, books, or journal articles that you want me to talk about to be reviewed. And so just let me know about that. And you can also let me know by sending me an email at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or otherwise on the Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. You can still send me questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions in the comment section or on the wall of any Facebook post, but remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRELL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have for good education. It's very important to have good education. So with a good education, good job in the future. Now, the next time I'll actually do a special episode, it would actually be either late August or otherwise early September. So that would actually be the case. And the next special episode would actually be a Redux. And I'm thinking about doing the Terminator Pig episode all over again, because we know that Daeodon is the valid species now, not Dinohyus. Dinohyus is not valid anymore. And so that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.